Glad to have you back with us as we continue on Let's Chat. It is Tuesday, and representing the firm of Warren Griffin, it is Scott Wesson. Scott, welcome to Let's Chat. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
I want to talk about a few things concerning Social Security and disability. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions out there. Where do we get started in separating the wheat from the chaff? A lot of folks are under the assumption that too many people who don't deserve it are actually on disability.
And I even had that misconception myself before I started into this type of practice. And the reality is that's simply not true. The process that you go through and the guidelines just prevent that. It's actually just a real rarity that someone is out there that shouldn't be on disability. And where that myth comes up is when we see someone out in the public, we see them at the grocery store,
right?
We see them in the parking lot or whatever, and we may see a handicap tag, or we may know this person that they're on Social Security disability. We may not know the whole story.
Sure.
We're seeing them at a good time, a good day. They're doing well on this day. They may have days where they're not able to go, and that's where that conception comes from.
And all of the disabilities that we're talking about are not necessarily those of a strictly physical kind.
That's very true. That's very true.
Another misconception is that if I got a good lawyer, I can get on the government payroll for disability. That's a big, big misconception.
Yeah, that's a big one, and there are certainly exceptions, but I would say that even a very good and experienced advocate is going to have a very difficult time getting a truly undeserving claimant on Social Security.
Those that do deserve, rightfully so, to get on disability, is it best if they hire an attorney to help guide them through this process? I would imagine this has got to be some very murky water.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of red tape. And I always tell people that the Social Security Administration is one of the largest agencies in the world, in all of the world. And the individuals who work there are very bright, they're very helpful, they're smart people, but the system itself is overwhelming. It's just an overwhelming system, and things get lost in the shuffle, things fall through the cracks, and just the whole system and the rules can be very complicated, tough to get through.
From the outside looking in, what's the biggest stumbling block for a lot of people to get on disability?
Their record is not complete. That's the big thing. They submit their application, they submit their information, they leave things out. They just leave things out there. They may not think it's important, and it is important. You have to be very thorough, you have to be very, very complete. And if you do that on the front end, if someone is out there right now and they're wanting to apply for their disability, be very thorough, be very careful. Remember all of your doctors, write everything down, be as thorough as you can. That's what they want. And if you do that and you still get turned down, then you can call me.
And this takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Oh,
I mean, from the time you complete all of your paperwork, what are we talking?
Well, it's just the initial application process. On the website it says takes approximately 1 hour. I've yet to complete one in an hour, and I'm a Social Security lawyer.
Right.
But the initial process takes some time, and the gathering of the information takes a lot of time in the beginning. The process itself can take years. It's a very frustrating, a very long process.
What happens if Social Security turns you down? What's the appeals process?
You get multiple bites at the apple. Here in Tennessee, the initial application is actually through state government. And then if you're turned down there, your initial appeal application is with the federal government through the Social Security Administration. If you're turned down at that point, in Tennessee, you have the right to ask for a judge to review your case live and in person and have a hearing. And so it's kind of a three-step process. And again, like I say, that process can take 18 to 24 months.
18 to 24 months.
Yeah, total.
And that can be some harrowing times, I would imagine, especially if you're a little further advanced chronologically or physically. My favorite part of my job is getting someone their Social Security disability because it can change their life. Sure.
It's an enormous thing. But it's one of the most frustrating types of law because even the most deserving of claimants, the wait is just too long. And I don't have the solution to it.
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but it's just a very long wait.
Scott, thank you for your expertise. And you can go back and tell the boss that we have officially mentioned Jim Bob Cooter. That was one of the caveats that Mark let you come here today,
That's correct.
Right?
We've done our dossier, and the firm is ready to recommend Jim Bob Cooter.
All right, Warren and Griffin, the firm. They're on Georgia Avenue, and Scott's email address is scottwesson@warrenandgriffin.com. Hang in there. We have more of Let's Chat right around the corner.